Eighth man, Tom with an H from Philly. Hey, a two-part question. Number one, whatever happened to the K-Rock docs? Can you talk about it? We'd love to know. And more importantly, part two, how is Dennis Prager doing? We would love to hear an update on the great Dennis Prager. We miss him. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Prager's doing better. I was told, I spoke to him not too long ago, and I was told that he was going to start doing interviews and podcasts and things like that. He's still having a mobilization problem, but he's better than he was, and K-Rock Doc is as we speak, being worked on in this building. It keeps going from one long one to like a 4-parter to a 3-parter, mm-hmm. So it's a little in flux, but there's your update. So Rudy has the news.
Yeah, let's do it. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has consistently denied Trump's offer to send U.S. military into Mexico to fight the cartels. She is apparently proud of this. President Trump recently announced a coalition of governments from across Latin America, but Mexico says no, and they're proud of the decision. Here's what she had to say. If the flow of illegal weapons from the United States into Mexico were stopped, these groups wouldn't have access to this type of high-powered weaponry to carry out their criminal activities.
You know, there's this thing that's more prevalent in women that I keep noticing, which is they look at themselves as heroes by telling other people don't like Trump to fuck off. But a lot of it's like progressive shit. Like during COVID, Trump sailed a Red Cross medical ship out here, and they were like, fuck you with your medical ship, get out of here. And it's like, I thought, well, aren't you the dicks that are telling us the hospitals are overrun? Like, what's and like, yeah, fuck that guy. And it kind of reminds me of all the Elon Musk stuff where it is interesting. So it's like a feminine trait. So Amazon was trying to open a hub in like AOC's area, and she was like, fuck you, you know, because they're giving them tax incentives.
Sure.
Also, it's this weird thing. It's this weird relationship that Democrats have with taxes, which is it's like it's their money. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to get ripped off by Amazon not paying taxes. And it's like, first up, they're not taking your money. They're paying less, mm-hmm. but they're generating so much income that it's good for your constituents and like so many jobs, but it's not ripping you off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like if you make $1 billion and you pay 25%, it's still a shitload of money. It's not ripping off it. My secretary pays 28%. Yes, she makes $43,000. So it's a much smaller amount that you're getting from her. Let me just put it to you this way. With the amount that I will say this to the left, for the amount that Elon Musk pays in taxes, you guys can run fraudulent daycare centers and fraudulent hospice care centers in Los Angeles and Minnesota for 1,000 years. If you just do it off the money that's generated from the secretary, you can only keep the place open for like 4 days.
Yeah.
Okay? Can put it in your language.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we appreciate Trump and Elon and all those guys? Yeah. So everyone loves telling Trump and Elon. Women love telling Elon to fuck off and Trump to fuck off, even if it's at their own detriment. Mm-hmm. But here she is. Let's see.
Qué bueno que el presidente Trump dice públicamente que cuando nos ha propuesto que entre el ejército de Estados Unidos a México hemos dicho que no. Yeah. Porque es la verdad, hemos dicho que no. Y orgullosamente seguimos diciendo que no. Qué bueno que el presidente Trump.
I will say also, you guys, like whatever shithole country you're from, like at a certain point, when you go, listen, it's not the people of wherever. It's like the drug cartels. Mm-hmm. We have so many drug cartels, and they're battling in the streets, and they've taken over the towns. Or you go to the Middle East, and you go, it's not us. It's not the fine people. It's all the terrorist organizations. Do you ever stop and think, why does your country have a bunch of terrorist organizations? Or why does your country have fucking drug cartels? Maybe your country's a piece of shit. Do you ever think about that?
Yeah. So it starts with the ground. You know, I don't look at a shit carrot and go, well, the ground was perfect. This carrot just came up the back. No, man. No. It starts at the roots. You're right. It's in that equation. It's like, yes, this Amazon facility is overrun by drug cartels and by a bunch of people who are trying to get the fuck out. And maybe she's pissed that he decided to close some borders and now she's stuck with these goddamn criminals.
Well, here's the ultimate. Here's basically the ultimate thing for any city, state, country. At some point, there is a border for everything. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, you leave Los Angeles and now you're in Orange County, or you leave this and now you leave California and now you're in Nevada. For anything, any entity, there's a kind of a line and a demarcation line. Mexico, are people in the United States attempting to get into your country? Or are your people welding themselves into truck fenders to try to get into our country? And the answer is everyone's trying to get here and no one's trying to get there. Then why? Mm-hmm. Why? Because it's not like people are killing themselves in Canada trying to get to the United States. So what's so different about your country and Gavin Newsom if everyone is leaving California but no one is coming to California? Why? Because you can talk about tax code or test scores. You can talk about drug cartels. You can talk about poutine. You can talk about the Montreal Canadiens. You can talk about anything you want, but there is a bottom line. Like it's a bottom line. Like people used to go, my ex-wife used to always say to me, everyone who works for you, they all hate you, which is awesome. I'd go, well, why don't you show up once in a while and fucking find out if someone does. But anyway, they all hate me. I go, fine. How come no one ever quits? Someone needs to quit. If you hate your boss, you fucking quit. I had a fucking guy named Jan who was my foreman when we were doing earthquake work. I hated this guy so much, even though I was getting $19 an hour, which is like, I was getting 12 normally, but I was getting like 19. I fucking couldn't take Jan Zetterberg anymore. And I was like, fuck you, Jan. I don't want to work with you anymore. Mm-hmm. And I just fucking quit. When your country's a piece of shit, you flee. When your country's good, you don't. Like everyone's like, oh, United States, oh, they invented slavery with the trailer. How come you're all coming here then? How come no one's fleeing?
Yeah.
Yes.
How come nobody has ever drank our water and shit themselves for 4 days? Right.
How come we don't have to get a bunch of shots before you come here?
Yeah.
And then, and all the Somalis. Okay, Somalia's great. It's full of proud people. What are they doing here? Mm-hmm. Go back to fucking Somalia. Like, there is a bottom line. California is not run right, and people are leaving. Mexico is not run right. People are leaving. Canada's fine, so people stay there. Denmark is fine, so people stay there. Whatever that thing is, when you're not doing it right, and it's a piece of shit, people flee.
Yeah, they need more poutine. That's right. Fuck yeah, they do. All right. LA awards $106 million to nonprofit whose lawyers hinder city's ability to clean up streets and bill, get this, $1,025 an hour. That is Garrigus money right there,
so
man.
So we had to pay the homeless advocates money because we tried to get people off the streets?
Yeah, so the Legal Aid Foundation of Los Angeles was awarded the largest share of an eye-popping $177 million tenant rights funding package approved by City Hall this week. The attorneys for this thing are actually the ones that are going to be making out the most. But meanwhile, they approved this for $177 million. Meanwhile, there's people that are going around going, hey man, I own some of these apartments and some of these complexes. People don't want to move here because there's nothing but litter and garbage and encampments in front of these places. No one wants to rent from me. And you guys are shelling out a bunch of dough to nonprofits who are charging that much, $1,025 an hour, but nothing's getting cleaned up around our facilities and where people are going to rent and live.
I was going to bed, getting angry last night, hearkening back on when Dr. Drew, let's really break this down, everybody. LA has a massive homeless problem. Nobody can deny it. It's the biggest in the United States. All right, so let's just not even be partisan here. Let's just agree on a few things. LA has a massive homeless problem that everyone can agree on. Even progressive Mayor Bass will tell you we must do something about the homeless problem, and then we start talking about the Olympics or the World Cup or whatever. Okay. So we have a massive homeless problem. Okay. Now, what drives the homeless problem is drugs and addiction. Because when you go into a shelter and these people are offered shelters, they cannot go into the shelter if they're going to do drugs. So they deny the open bed in the shelter because they want to do drugs. And I'm like, what if somebody said, and I kind of get it, like what if somebody said, hey, Rudy, Adam, after the show Saturday night, you can come up the street from the club and you can stay in our house, but my mom is there and she's Mormon and my wife's Mormon and there's just no alcohol allowed in the house, So, but you can stay for free.
Great.
I'd be like, I don't know. I like to have a drink after the show. I think
agree.
I'd stay in the hotel.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just go and pay. You want to pay for a hotel room? Why don't you stay for free?
Yeah.
I'd like to stay for free, but I'd like to have a drink.
Yeah. Also, how'd this nerd get into our green room? Get the hell out of here.
Get the hell out of here, you Mormons. So, I get it. Like, these people are fucking hardcore drug addicts. So, they would rather do the drugs than take the bed. So, homelessness is a massive problem in LA. It's fueled by drug addicts. I defy you to find somebody who's sleeping outdoors on a fucking sidewalk with roaches and rats on a piece of cardboard that's not high, drunk, intoxicated, whatever. And I think, first off, the homeless population that are just folks that got, because the factory closed down and they got pushed out on the street, or the wife that got divorced, I think that fucking number's zero. I think that number's zero. I don't think it's like, people do a thing where they go, a small percentage of them are just moms that are down on their, I think that number's zero. I've never seen it. I've traveled thousands of miles through this city. So have you. So has Dawson. I've never seen a sober mom walking around with her kids. It's all fucking junkies. It's all crazy junkies. All right. And then they go, well, but what about the people with schizophrenia? Some of it, small percentage. I think it's a small percentage. I think if anyone really got to the bottom of this, what percentage of people who are sleeping outdoors are not using something? Do you think there's someone who's just stone cold sober who just goes to bed that night?
Yeah, zero.
I don't think it exists. So drugs and addiction is driving this problem. It is the cause of the problem. And 5 years ago, Dr. Drew, who's an addiction medicine specialist, who's been specializing in that field for about 40 years, said to the LA City Council, you do not have anybody in this homeless task force that's an addiction medicine specialist, yet addiction is the number one problem that you guys have to solve. So that sort of sounds insane. It'd be like saying if the biggest problem with the homeless is not enough inexpensive housing, but nobody on the board had any building experience, no architecture experience, no engineering experience. That would be kind of dumb because you're all just in the dark now. So the city council has nobody who has addiction medicine expertise of any kind, just a bunch of dumb fucking yentas. And Dr. Drew says, I will volunteer my services to work with you to address this problem. And they tell him to go pound sand. They go fuck off.
Yeah.
So would one then assume that they were interested in solving this problem? This is, by the way, like Scheinbaum telling Trump to fuck off. Anybody with any field of expertise, hey, white guy, fuck off.
Yeah.
A white guy who knows a whole bunch of shit and might be able to impact your problem, yeah, you can fuck off too. Which means, A, they're not that interested in solving the problem, but B, they get paid no matter what, because if you got paid based on performance, you'd be dying for that guy to volunteer his information. There's a Times article written by some crazy yenta about 5 years ago that attacked Drew for volunteering to help the homeless with addiction.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Absolutely.
So that's all chick think. Sorry. It's all fucking chick think. And we're screwed. And guess what? I hope you're sitting down. But since 5 years ago, when Drew offered to volunteer his time, the homeless problem's gotten worse.
Yeah.
Much worse in the last 5 years with much more addiction. Dr. Drew eyed for Homeless Commission angers advocates.
Yeah.
He angered at the advocates who get paid. By the way, Dawson. Drew angered the people who are in charge of spending the $24 billion that we've wasted on homelessness. He angered those advocates who make their bones with homeless people, not getting homeless people off the street. So when a disruptor like Drew shows up, they want him to fuck out. So
if I was making money and somebody said something that means I wasn't going to make money, I'd be mad at him too. I'd be angered.
Embezzling from the company. Mm-hmm. You and your 5 friends have been embezzling from the company for 20 years. I announced good news. I got an auditor. We can come in and go ahead and audit these books, and then you and your 5 buddies take a vote and tell them to get the fuck out. But the super retard from the Los Angeles Times takes your side. That's the crazy part. The bitch at the Times who's not even getting paid is advocating to get Drew out of there.
Yeah. And it's got nothing to do with anything else other than you're on the other side of the aisle, so go fuck right off.
But by the way, you know what I love about the old articles? It's a controversial stance on COVID. You mean shit we were right about? And you guys never apologized?
Yeah.
That stance?
Yeah.
That controversial one?
Yeah.
It's like my controversial stance of, I thought we should have killed Hitler before World War II. It's like saying that's my stance, and then no one ever apologized to you.
It's like when I see sports fans getting angry at each other, like, fuck the Eagles fans. These guys are dickheads. I'm like, if you're hanging off the side of a cliff and you're about to fall, but a guy's got an Eagles jersey on and he reaches down to pick you up and help you, would you go, sorry, bro, I fucking hate Philly. You go ahead and let me drop. No, of course not. And that's what Mexico and that's what California's in with the cartels and with the homeless. You got people with resources that can help you out, but because they decide to walk with another group of people, you go, you know what, just pound sand, get the hell out of here. I don't piss off.
You know what happened? You'd be hanging off that cliff. The Eagles guy would show up, like Andrew's a big Eagles guy.
Yeah.
Then he'd reach out and he'd go, wait a minute, are you an Eagles fan? And he'd go, I'm a Ravens fan. And he'd kick your hand and you'd go sailing down the cliff and he'd yell, fly, Eagles, fly. And then he'd laugh.
And then he'd throw a beer bottle at Santa Claus, you son of a bitch.
That's right. All right. Next story.
All right. BBC says deep wound stab kits are now recommended on London buses for some strange, unstated reason. Weird how these things suddenly just pop up in a country that pioneered public transportation.
Yeah. Listen, oh God, it's so fucking sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Islamists stabbing people on public transportation.
Yeah, like you say, like the barbed wire around the signs so they can
freeway
keep
signs.
Yeah, the freeway signs. Yeah, that is a sign that your city is in shambles. So
let me just say something to everybody. Like, there are moments when you, like, if you have a daughter, I have a daughter, you know what I mean? And then you said, oh, Adam, my daughter's going to come stay at your house for a little while we're out on the road. And I went, okay. And then you said, you don't have nail polish remover around the house, do you? And I went, huh? Maybe. Oh, she'll drink that. Yeah, we gotta get rid of that. I would argue that instead of burning calories hiding the nail polish remover, bigger questions should be asked. Like, why is your daughter so bad off that she's drinking nail polish remover? And I would say the same. I said it a million times. When we start putting the barbed wire around the freeway signs in L.A., we should have asked ourselves, where are we going as a city? By the way, we've gotten much worse. And then we get into these conversations about, well, we can't have lights up on the 6th Street Bridge because guys come and steal the copper, so we won't be able to reinstall the wiring until we can harden it. Like, the fact that we need to harden things. You know, the fact that every gas station needs to have 4 inches of bulletproof glass and you got to talk to a guy through the fucking drawer. Sure. The fact that you can't go to the CVS and get cartridges for your razors or shampoo without someone with a set of keys to unlock it from a cage. And the fact that we need deep stabbing kits on transportation, that's a time to stop and go, what the fuck is going on? All right, so here's how I do it. Who's doing the stabbing? Like, I don't do a thing where I go, get everyone a stabbing kit. My feeling is, who's doing the stabbing? And then people go, well, we can't answer that because that's racist. I go, yes, we can answer it. We need to answer all of it. Who's doing whatever it is we don't want? Who's doing that? Yeah. Because I would like to know. And by the way, that doesn't make me racist. It makes them stabbers. Yeah. You understand? It means you're really good at stabbing, not I'm really good at being racist. Yeah. I'm just fucking asking what the problem is. I'm trying to solve the problem. Me saying black dads need to hang out and raise their kids is not me being racist. It's kind of the opposite of being racist. I'm actually trying to solve the fucking problem. You're talking about systemic racism like it's radon gas. You're never going to get to the fucking problem. Yeah. I'll get to the problem. Who's doing the stabbing?
Yeah. If you're at a bar with all white people, but there is a whole group at a table that are donning Hell's Angels vests, and you're looking for a table to sit at, where are you going to sit? Probably not next to the dudes who are donning the Hell's Angels vest. So yeah, you do a little bit of profiling. It's what you're supposed to do. It's in our human nature to stay safe.
Yes. So why the necessity? There's some good tweets, Andrew says on this one. Why the necessity for these stabbing kits? And by the way, you know who was a bus driver back in the day?
Tell me. Otto from The Simpsons.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not as good.
Yeah.
Don't run any for a second. Let me just talk to Rudy for a second. You know who drove public transportation? Ralph Cramden.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The Honeymooners. Jackie Gleason was a bus driver in New York, right?
Yeah, bus driver by day, wife beater by night. He knew how to run a family.
He never came home and said, oh, man, a junkie took a shit in my bus today, or a crazy tranny tried to stab an elderly Asian man, or these black teens all jumped on the bus at the same time and refused to pay the fare, or some Shiite Muslim declared a jihad and tried to stab an elderly man. Nope. He just drove a bus. Yeah. He drove a bus, he wore a bow tie, and he just came back every day with his shirt tucked in and his bow tie on. And he'd say, like, long day at work. But there was never a story. Yeah. You could not make a sitcom about a guy who drove a bus today in a major metropolitan city. I guess Honeymooners was in New York. I'm guessing.
So, yeah.
Can you imagine having a guy, his vocation was a bus driver in New York City, came back and there was never a story about someone taking a shit on the bus or stepping on a syringe or anything.
Brooklyn,
New York.
Yeah, Brooklyn, New York.
Right.
Yeah, you
never had a story about it. Wasn't a big thing. No violence. No incidents.
Yeah, you also couldn't make the show because you couldn't get the camera inside of the bulletproof case they have to lock themselves inside of to be able to drive the goddamn bus now.
The only controversy with him in the bus from an episode of The Honeymooners is like, well, a black chick did try to sit up front, so I did have to
send her to the
had
moon.
To walk her to the moon. Yes. All right, where are we?
All right. So Quentin Tarantino today fired back at Rosanna Arquette, her recent critique of Pulp Fiction, specifically for Tarantino's frequent use of the N-word. I hope the publicity you're getting from 132 different media outlets, writing your name and printing your picture was worth disrespecting me and my film. I remember quite clearly, you were thrilled to be a part of, he wrote in a statement obtained by Deadline. But after I gave you a job and you took the money to trash it for what I suspect is very cynical reasons, shows a decided lack of class, no less honor.
Yeah. Well, I don't. First off, when you do a movie, first off, any period, whatever, you get a fucking pass. Like, they made the movie Miracle, which, with everything going on, I recommend.
Yeah, great.
All right. No black players on that hockey team. And the reason there's no black people in the movie The Miracle is because there were no black people in 1980 on the hockey team. And neither was the coach and neither was the assistant coach. So they just recreated that. Now, you can complain because there's 25 white dudes. Where's the black dude? But you get a pass because they didn't have a black dude on the team.
Yeah.
And that's the way it goes. And I think you should be able to do that historically. And when people threw around the N-word, whether it was Django Unchained or whatever, Pulp Fiction, if that's the way they talk, then that's the way they talk. Then tough shit, Roseanne.
Yeah. Also, I always hate when people take jobs, they take the money, and then they go back and they have a lot of shit to say about people that employed them.
You who voted for Ilhan Omar. Really? You have a problem with people who don't appreciate what you've done for them?
Yeah. You get fired from a job and somebody goes, I'm never going down to that Quiznos again, or I'm never listening to that radio station again. I'm like, yeah, but for 9 years they paid our mortgage. We brought our kids through private school, and also we bought 2 vehicles and had a trip every single year. So I know I'm getting fired and it sucks, but hey, it was nice for 9 years, wasn't it? Now let's go find something else to do. Well, I'm not going to shit on them.
I completely agree.
Yeah, and the day when you fire me because everyone in this building is completely scared of you, I'm not going to talk shit.
I think I'm an asshole. Yeah, I feel the same way. I've been let go from radio jobs and stuff like that. It's weird to get pissed. First off, they're letting you go for a reason. Oh, Andrew, it reminded me because I had this joke that it's not an on-stage joke, but it's a thing. I liked a tweet from a few days ago where it's a black guy who's getting thrown off a Spirit Airlines flight, and he's getting thrown off for being rude. And when they're trying to throw him off, he's like, "Fuck you!" And it's like, yeah, that.
Yeah.
And I always had this joke, but it's so true. Like so many people, like the joke was, you pull a guy into your office and you just go, "Steve, sorry, it's just not working out here at the office, and we got to let you go because some people are finding your tone to be a little disrespectful." He's like, "Go fuck yourself," and you're like, "Yes." Guys do that while it's like I want to stop in the middle of stuff and go, "This is why." Yeah. This is why we're firing you.
Proving my point. Yes.
Right. So there's this young black dude. I think he's on a Spirit flight, and he's basically being thrown off the flight because Frontier. He's being thrown off the flight because he walked past a stewardess, and I guess it was a female, and instead of like saying "excuse me" or something like that, he's like "move." And she felt intimidated and like unsafe, which is the New World Order. Everyone feels unsafe. And so she went in and said, "Get this guy off the flight. Like, I don't want to fly with this guy because he sort of menaced me or something."
Yeah.
So then we pick it up from the poor guy who works at the airport having to come in and tell the young black man, "You were rude and you got to come off this flight." Here we go. Sorry.
I'm not driving. It's on the flight. You don't grab it. What's that? He's going to stay on with it. Felt threatened. The flight attendant.
She felt threatened.
Get out of my way? Yes. The fucking felt threatened about that. I feel threatened right now. I'm trying to get to my seat. What feel threatened about that? You're going to behave. I'm looking fast on. We need y'all. What's the threat about that? Fuck no. Tell Jimmy to call me. Get back up, man.
The comedy is, you can keep going, it gets better, but she felt threatened and he's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And he's like, "I feel threatened."
Yeah.
That's a threat.
I'm scared for that guy just watching this.
Get out of the way. Like a "fuck you" douche.
Yeah.
You can't fly in an airplane.
I should wave for everybody's yeah. This motherfucking waves my time. I ain't threatening nobody.
Yeah. This is what MLK was talking about by not color of skin, but content of character.
Right.
What's the threat about that? Get out of my way. Ain't no motherfucking threat. You know what a threat is?
I'll show you.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Get out of it. By the way, you imagine getting on an airplane just yelling, "Get out of my way." Let me just say something. Can I say this for a second? Whether it's you fucking wrestling with an ICE guy or getting shitty at an airport or getting in someone TSA's face or anything to do with an airplane, fucking bite your lip and shut your fucking face.
Yeah.
They will throw you out of there so fucking fast. You don't get to call an attorney or a lifeline. You're just out.
Yeah.
You're just gone.
Yeah, watched the girl get arrested on a flight to Austin one time. She was completely hammered and took not a swing, but kind of like an elbow at an officer. And she was all of 115 pounds, probably no food, drank all day at the airport. This guy was not playing. Grabbed her right by the neck, put an arm behind her. Yeah, just threw her right on the ground. And people were like, why is this happening? I'm like, because she's hammered and she's making a scene in front of everybody. Won't shut her goddamn mouth.
Here's the thing. Go back a little bit. Look, here's the thing. When you're out in LA or you're out in New York, feel free to jump on the hood of a cop car and take a shit on the windshield and nothing will happen. When you're inside a fucking airplane, shut your mouth.
Yeah.
All right, sorry, play it.
Echo-8 don't have a radio.
I just love that he's threatening people because he's thrown off because he's threatening people. He's threatening.
Disregard for Echo-8 but we don't have a speaker for that.
Stand down. I'm not saying the fuck you talking about. Looks like you want to do something.
See?
He's threatening the guy to have a fight.
Do something, I do.
Gotta have pride.
Yeah.
Gotta have a lot of pride when you're leaving a Frontier flight.
Yeah, $29 round trip. A lot of pride.
A lot of pride.
So this is a first for me on a flight that happened.
You don't fly that much on Frontier. 'Cause I fly Frontier 4 times a month, and I'm telling you,
this is called a Wednesday.
Yeah, this is
Frontier.
par for the course. Yeah. It's funny when they always go, we'd like to offer the Frontier Airlines credit card. I'm like, do you think anybody on this flight has credit? Look around. I mean, if credit is dignity, dignity flies Delta. There's no
but
chance.
you haven't been on a date and popped that baby out.
Actually, I have because I have one in my wallet.
That's what we call a panty dropper, Rudy.
It is.
You're fucking at Arby's. She thinks you're going Dutch, and then all of a sudden the Frontier Airlines credit card comes out.
There's nothing more.
You got the Ralph's lanyard on your keychain. She's already sized you up for a whale.
Yeah, my Costco card is stuck to the bottom of the Frontier Airline. There is nothing more embarrassing than when you go out to eat with like a bunch of people in the industry who are all, big timers. They got big Amexes, couple black cards get thrown on the table. We'll split this up. And then I literally just throw down my Frontier Airlines credit card.
I had my first credit card I got when I was like 28, Bank of Hoven. Secured. You gave them $500, they gave you $300 in credit.
Wow.
Yeah, they didn't even give you the full amount.
Wow. That's unbelievable. No cosigner on this one? Probably not, huh?
If you can give them $500, they will give you $300 worth of credit card. That was the Bank of Hoven.
Yeah.
Is there a Bank of Hoven? Still, that I may have been the first person in my family to get a credit card.
Yeah. Listen, I've stepped it up in the credit card game because I'm looking through here now. There's an Amex Platinum. I got the Delta Reserve card, and I got the Marriott Bonvoy card. So at least I'm flying decently and staying in decent places now. My goal for the year is to stay at hotels where I don't open the front door and walk into a parking lot. That's the goal for this year. And so far, I'm only at one.
Yeah.
Dallas.
I stay at ones that have the word roof and airport.
Yeah.
Don't
stay in inns.
Inns.
Yeah, anything like a Days Inn, Road Inn.
Hey, let me give you this road tip.
Yeah.
I never thought of this. Going off to do shows in Nebraska, and we're trying to figure out where to stay, and I'm like, I don't know, is that place nice? Is that place nice? You know what I said to my assistant? I go, what year was that place built? And she's like, this one was built in 2022. And I said, everything that's new is nice now.
Yeah.
Everything cars that are new, like work, they're all nice. Like new, even cheap hotels, when they're new, they're nice.
Yeah.
So if it's one from the 60s, forget about it.
You're talking about Norfolk?
Yeah.
They put you in the best hotel room.
Oh, they do?
Oh, and it's literally 100 feet from the front door of the venue. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
I was told something different, so we're going to have to figure that out.
It's the best.
Bank of Hoven credit card commercials ready to go. I probably saw this when I was 28. Sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
What?
After a bad credit report, I couldn't get a Visa or MasterCard until I applied at the Bank of Hoven. They approved me.
And they can approve you, regardless of past credit experience,
Picture
even
me at
bankruptcy.
27 and a half,
Bank of Hoven is
sitting in
your
my
best
apartment.
chance to get a Visa or MasterCard. Operators are standing by, so call the number on your screen now. They've approved thousands and want to approve you, even if you've never had credit before. Operators are standing by. Do it now. Call today.
Oh, man.
I could get this Bank of Hoven card and then use that as a stepping stone to get a Discovery card.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. That model looked good, but it was a little bit homely.
A little bit, yeah. There was something going on there for sure.
All right, so going to be in Santa Ana. That'll be on the 22nd, doing the whole Newman car collection thing there. I think Jay Moore's going to be there, do a live pod. That'll be the Jordan family classic cars. And then also coming up, the whole Nebraska run, Norfolk coming up 27th, 28th, and then Lincoln at Howler Comedy Club. That'll be the 29th. Rudy, what do you got?
This Friday, I will be in Oakdale, Minnesota, doing Next Stop Comedy. Then Saturday, Monroe, Wisconsin on the 21st. The 27th, Lowertown, St. Paul at Gambit Brewing, one of the best rooms. And then March 29th, I'll be in Lincoln with you.
So, until next time, this is Adam Carolla for everyone who's been here saying mahalo. All right, news.
Commentator Stephen A. Smith tore into California Governor Gavin Newsom for disparaging President Donald Trump at the World Economic Forum in Switzerland this week. On Wednesday's episode of Smith's Straight Shooter podcast, the host asserted that while he has no problem with Newsom criticizing Trump while on American soil, slamming the president in a foreign country is a completely different story.
Gavin Newsom, respectfully, what are you doing? You're the governor of the state of California in the United States of America. Why are you over in Davos, Switzerland, talking to folks and speaking negatively about the president of the United States? I have no problem with Gavin Newsom being candid and open about his feelings about our president on United States soil. To go over to another country, Switzerland, to go over there and to be in the presence of other European leaders speaking against the president of the United States. I'm not down with that. Y'all might be. I'm not down with that at all. Say whatever you want here as a governor from the opposite side of the aisle of a state in the United States on American soil, fine. But I'm one of those people, when we go somewhere else, it's America first. You know, our problems, are our problems. But we ain't taking dirty laundry outside. You don't go on a world stage to disrespect your own house, which is the United States of America. I don't like that at all. Not even a little bit.
All right, we can't.
He says the same thing 8 different ways.
I'm now
He's sweating.
Yeah.
I'm going to include
That was
him
a shiny man.
in my Chris Rock joke setup analogy, which is every 1 hour Chris Rock special could be 17 minutes if he didn't set the joke up when he goes, women, they don't forget. They don't forget.
Yeah, 100. Yeah.
Women, okay. We got it.
Women don't forget.
Right. Here we go.
What's your point?
Well, where's the joke? Do the joke.
Yeah.
And then the joke does come, which is good. But could have condensed that a little bit.
Yeah.
Dennis Miller wouldn't have done that.
It's just crazy to me that he's over there. I get it. He's running the fourth largest economy. I get that, but it just has this feel where the Democrats are just going to try to shove him down our throats to run for the Democrat Party, even though he is polling horrible with everybody. I mean, polls are lies, by the way, but just on the streets talking to people, everyone in California thinks California is in the shitter, and he is directly related to that. But they're like, no, man, we're just gonna push this shiny object guy who has like American Psycho fucking energy on everybody. It's incredible.
He does his. There was a clip. I think I liked it, or at least I tweeted about it. But Newsom, when he does the righteous indignation thing, that's him at his best. With bullshit anger amuses me the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
I always love it when women. You can always tell when women are doing the bullshit anger thing because they don't say house, they say home, and then they don't say kid, they go child. They go, you come into my home in front of my child. They get all breathy and they go, you come into my house in front of my kid, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm gonna have a beer. You want a beer? They go, you come into my home in front of my child. That's how you know that's
Wonderful
bullshit
observation.
breathy. Newsom does this sort of righteous indignation thing where he's really, really upset about the state of whatever. And I never really get it because it's like I just turn on the news and it's like, we're trying to buy Greenland. We've shut the border. We're lowering taxes and, giving tips to fucking bartenders and not taxing overtime or whatever. That doesn't sound like the end of the world to me. It sounds like
he's talking about taking down interest rates on credit cards.
Right. This shit I would like done. You guys, all you do is you're fucking butthurt all the time about something racist or somebody was insulted or the indigenous people. I want to talk about some fucking rates. I want to lower mortgage rates. And he's there with Soros Jr. too, which is so perfect. You know what I mean? And that kid, have you ever heard that kid try to talk?
Oh, he's retarded. That's why they had to bring in Hillary Clinton's lesbian lover to be his handler. Uma Abedin is like straight up evil. And they're like, this kid's retarded. You got to go in there and just put him on the right path. They're like, he did one speech. Everyone's like, oh, he's a trust fund kid retard.
He doesn't know what the fuck. He doesn't make any sense. He does more word salad than Kamala Harris does quite easily. So I don't know if we have any clips, but we can just move forward. This is him. This is insane. This isn't AI. This is Soros Jr.
I don't think that's the fundamental. I don't think the technology is the fundamental issue in democracy. Democracy is messy. I mean, a lot of
deep leg crossers
is about contestation of ideas. It's about plurality. It's about people having different truths. Actually, fundamentally, how society lives together civically in those contestations is obviously quite tricky. But I think that if we play too much on this disinformation card, we're taking the responsibility away from ourselves to actually create a narrative that inspires.
This is being super rich, dude. It's like being a hot chick. People, you fucking say nothing and everyone nods the whole time.
You can feel the gears grinding in his head when you're listening to this.
I would rather see Indigo Girls cover band than attend this fucking seminar. I have no fucking, someone needs to throw a folding chair at this retard and go, I have no idea what you said.
They're like, that's the best you can do, Soros, this kid.
That's it.
And that's the one they picked. Imagine what the other kids are like. They got to be even more retarded.
They're like winding their beanies now somewhere.
You mean the Indigo Girls?
The Indigo Girls.
See? Yeah. Right on. All right. So I picked this specifically because I thought Barron Trump and I were going to have something in common, but it turns out not. Barron Trump told British authorities his heart was racing when he witnessed a very close female friend get beat up by her ex-boyfriend on a FaceTime call. President Trump's then 18-year-old son frantically alerted police in London after realizing his friend was in a violent dust-up with her former boyfriend. Prosecutors on Thursday detailed an email exchange the first son had with police in the wake of an alleged tag when they they asked Barron if he would consider giving a witness statement in a criminal case against the suspect.
I heard he ran out of his dorm room, but hit his head on the header going over the door and was passed out unconscious. He hit his head on the jam.
I do a joke where I say every picture he looks like Lurch from the Addams Family, and everybody goes, "That is the most accurate description of Barron Trump." Yeah. Well, the reason because I read this and was like, "Damn, I don't know if somebody from the team had told you, but Friday night in Minnesota." I stopped a guy beating his girlfriend in a parking lot.
Really?
My girlfriend and I were walking into a restaurant. I had a show in St. Cloud, Minnesota. We walked outside down the street to a restaurant, and while we were walking, we heard a woman yelling, "Help!" My girlfriend stopped me before I walked in the door, and she goes, I said, "Are they kidding around?" And she said, "I think this is for real." I said, "No, they got to be kidding," because the guy had then taken and got behind her and kind of got her like in a move where he was holding onto her waist. Picked her up and slammed her head first onto the ground.
Really?
So my girlfriend grabs me and goes, you have to do something. I grab my phone. I start running across the street. I give hey! Dude looks up, sees me, takes off. I chase after the guy. I tell my girlfriend, please watch her. I run after the dude. I chased this dude. It had to have been over a quarter of a mile. Over a bridge, 10 below.
Over a bridge.
It was insane.
Dude.
Yeah, so I chase him down.
You're a better man than me. I'm not going over bridges.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, especially in Minnesota.
I'll do a hill and a dale.
Yeah.
But I won't do a bridge.
Yeah,
I'll go over a hill
you'll
and
run
dale.
all the way around.
I like those shopping carts. They just don't go past that one place.
I got you, yeah. But on the phone with the cops show up to where this guy is. I'm about a half a block away. They roll in. He sees the cops, tries to run. Cops get out, tackle him, make the arrest.
Wow.
I start walking back to the restaurant. I see this girl on the street. She comes up. Thank you so much. She gives me a hug. Turns out ex-boyfriend came to her apartment. Must have had a key because she came home from work. She opened the door, saw him sleeping on the couch, walked out, woke him up. She took off running. He took off running after her, caught her in a parking lot, and started beating on her.
Wow.
Yeah. So on the way back, the cops were nice enough to give me a ride back to the restaurant. But on the way there, I said, "So, is there like a sticker or something I can put on my car now, saying like next time you guys pull me over?
Where's my medal?"
Yeah, and she laughed and goes, "Well, the next time we give out badges for the Do-Gooders Club, we'll make sure you get the first one." And I was like, "Too bad." So I went and made stickers that say the Do-Gooders Club, and I'm giving them out at shows. So put them on your goddamn cars.
Yeah,
and
dude.
get out of tickets.
Good for you.
Yeah,
you should have a Good Sam Club on your car. The Addams Family theme song.
Dun-dun-dun-dun.
Right. But they go, they're mysterious and spooky.
They're creepy and they're kooky.
They're creepy and they're
mysterious and spooky.
Altogether ooky?
Yeah, ooky.
If I was in that writer's room, I'd go, Bob, ooky's not a word.
What is ooky?
It's not a word.
That's like the worst rapper ever.
It rhymes with spooky. I get it.
Yeah.
But it needs to actually be a word because we're writing a song that has words in it. You know how mysterious is a word and spooky's. You know how spooky's a word? Yeah. Well, the word you're rhyming it with is ooky.
Yeah.
And that's not a word.
If someone went to, "Hey, my friend's coming over, he's a little ooky."
Yeah.
You'd be like, "What does that even mean?"
I love that I was telling this disparaging story about a woman getting beaten. You're like,
"We said you're a hero, dude. We said you're a hero." That guy was a little ooky.
He went over a bridge. I would not. I stop at the bridge.
Far.
Yeah.
No, he went like Rambo did. You know, when he went past the bridge when he first blood when he was walking out of town.
Brian Dennehy,
and he turned that car around. That was you.
Yeah, I would have asked for the security footage, and that would have been on my Instagram.
Posting that,
me just running, saving lives.
In fact, look, the guy ran off, and you kept running. Yeah. I chased down a purse snatcher once, but he had the purse. This guy didn't have anything.
Yeah.
So once he started running, I would have let him run.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like dudes like that are going to go out and do it again.
Well, no. I mean, I would have rationalized that she'll tell somebody that this is where he lives.
See, that was the problem is because when we first saw it, he was trying to pull something off of her, which looked like she was getting robbed. I didn't know that there was boyfriend-girlfriend well until after the cops had told me, oh, by the way, this is, that's how it all happened.
All right, hero, what else? It's good.
Do you ever know that you're my hero?
Oh, that's been going on in my head all day. God damn it, I know. Independent journalist Nick Shirley says exposing government fraud has made him a target, and now he's turning his focus on California.
Oh, boy.
Shirley gained national attention after releasing videos that say fraud in Minnesota has been running rampant. He testified before House lawmakers earlier this week during a hearing investigation in the state's fraud scandals. Shirley said the work has been dangerous, but California is his next target. Fraud will be exposed in California. It'll be exposed across the United States.
Yes. Now, you know the crazy thing about these idiots on the left? If he, Shirley, was a guy who invented electric car and had a network of dealerships, they'd be firebombed right now.
Right, 100%.
They would firebomb his dealer network for trying to save money for people. That's chick think, by the way. Like that whole
chick think.
That whole we're going after Elon and burning down Tesla dealers is the most insane thought ever. Like, also, all the person is doing is trying to save taxpayer money.
I don't get why people are upset about it.
And then they go, oh, what he's smearing this person or that person. Okay. Look, if you didn't do anything, then you're fine. They always act, they do the same thing with ICE. You know what I mean? Like walking around, grabbing Americans, disappearing them, putting them in slave ships and shipping them to Honduras where they'll spend the rest of their life making Nikes in a sweatshop. These are neighbors. These are Americans. Like, okay, that never happens. The thing you say is happening never happens. What does happen is you might get some rapists and some murderers and some pedophiles out of a neighborhood in Minneapolis or anywhere else. That's what is happening. And what Elon Musk is trying to do is stop a bunch of fraud, not take away food from kids who are hungry. And what Shirley wants to do is stop a bunch of fraud, not shut down legitimate daycare centers. Like, I don't get it. What is... You know, like they always act like you're going to get scooped up and thrown in jail. Like, good fucking luck scooping up an innocent American and throwing him in jail for either fraudulently running a daycare center or speaking out against the president or being in the wrong place at the wrong time when ICE rolled in. If ICE rolls in and you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, and by the way, they go, you have to show them your papers. No, you'd show them your fucking driver's license, the same one you use when you check into the Ramada.
Yeah, when you get pulled over, you have to show it all the time.
I know. They want your papers when they pull you over. They want insurance papers. They want registration papers.
And by the way, this is the left that said you have to show your vaccine card to everybody.
Right.
They didn't want you to be able to function in society unless you showed your papers.
Right. So spare us, but I don't know. Is there anybody who has been removed from the country who's a legitimate American citizen who just didn't have their paperwork in order? I don't have my papers when I leave the house, but I have a driver's license. And is there a legitimate business that deals with kids' daycare or transportation or kids on autism spectrum, and there's some sort of nursing healing home or something? Is there any one of those bits that's legitimate and the guy ran a clean business? He's in prison right now? I don't know what it is. And by the way, I know it doesn't exist because if it did exist, it'd be on CNN 24/7.
Yeah,
it'd be nonstop. We tried to throw out a couple of gangbangers. You guys put them on the front of the fold on every episode of CNN. So don't give me this bullshit.
And if you flipped it and it was Somalians, it was white people, would any of these protesters be upset?
I think they would push back against any Trump-related anything at all times, and not as upset. No, not nearly as upset. But they get to work this sort of racial angle. But look, there's good news. If you didn't commit fraud, you'll be fine. So people can look into fraud. Pop the trunk. Yes, officer. Knock yourself out. There's nothing in the trunk. There's no scenario where the officer goes, pop the trunk, and then he pops the trunk, and then he goes, there's a dead body in there. And I go, no, there isn't. I go, you're going to prison. Like, That doesn't exist. Maybe it existed in the rural South in 1949.
Right.
It doesn't. It's 2026. And by the way, the cop's black or a female or Hispanic or all the above.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. Sorry.
It's crazy, dude. How shish kebabbed everybody is, and it's a great example of propaganda because you look at who's at these protests. It's all MSNBC and CNN viewers. It's like 40 and up, or like super progressives, trans and whites and beta males who still watch this stuff and get programmed to get upset. And
but also, as I was screaming about it, I can't remember whose show. At a certain point, it's on you. Like, so you have a governor of your state. I mean, when you're not solving crime, you have a governor who gets up there and says in a microphone that ICE is just going door to door, kicking open doors, telling people to identify people of color, rat their neighbors out, and then ICE goes in and grabs them and disappears them. Okay, that's his rap. Now, it's super dangerous, and it's also there's also like a fiduciary duty you have to have as a government official, not to incite this shit, but you are inciting it. He's a horrible man, and I'm sure he'll get prosecuted at some point. Not because Trump dislikes him. Trump does dislike him. Trump, I'm sure, hates, Trump hates Jimmy Kimmel, but Trump can't have him arrested and put in jail because he hates Jimmy Kimmel. And Trump hates Stephen Colbert, but Trump can't put him in jail. But if Trump hates Stephen Colbert and Stephen Colbert sells fentanyl, then he can be put in jail.
Yes.
And that's what's happening. You understand?
I agree.
It's not just Stephen Colbert. It's Stephen Colbert plus fentanyl that gets, and then you go, why are you going after Stephen Colbert? And he goes, he's selling fentanyl. And you go, you're only doing it because he's Stephen Colbert. Right, but I couldn't do it unless he sold the fentanyl. And that's how it works.
Great example of that is the Hillary Clinton emails, where people are like, they hacked the emails. I go, but you're not upset with what's in the emails?
Right.
Which seems way worse than the hacking.
Yeah, tell that to John Gruden.
Yeah.
Sure, man.
Deep email hack cut. But, with the Raiders cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now Tim Walz is an idiot, and he's inciting people to do this. But at a certain point, Minnesotans, I don't care how much MSNBC you watch or CNN you watch, you have to kind of know that when they're reporting that Trump went to the grave of the unmarked soldier and took a poop on it and called the guy a loser, anonymous sources report. Like, at a certain point, you got to catch on. Sure. You're being played. You're being duped. There's no ICE official that's going to homes of people of color and kicking open doors and asking to rat their neighbors out like Anne Frank. You know what I mean? Like, you as the viewer, especially as a college-educated adult, not that that means anything anymore, but be a little bit more discerning.
Yeah.
You guys just got lied to about COVID from the same people.
Same people.
You had
Russian collusion.
5 years of COVID lies. 5 years of Hunter Biden's laptop isn't real. 5 years of Russiagate. Put it all together, you got 10 years of nonstop lies from these people, and now you're going on the 66th lie, and you're all in. It's your fault. They're fucking getting paid. They're making money. You're a stooge.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you should figure out why you keep, Lucy's going to move that football. Why do you keep running at it, Charlie Brown? Mm-hmm. All right, sorry.
All right, one last video before we get out of here, just to sort of lighten the mood a little bit. A gym bro put giant female bodybuilders against dwarf men.
I love this
and
video.
gave us a hilarious lesson in biology.
All right. These are like Amazon.
Yeah, they're Amazon chicks.
Yeah. And then there's Wee Man.
And they're shredded.
But I do also want to say this about, like, midgets.
Yeah.
They're built like bottle jacks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Long and lean is not good for squats or deadlift. Built like a bottle jack.
Yeah.
That's leverage.
And so funny, half these chicks are so obviously on steroids.
Yeah.
That one and the chick at the end.
Yeah.
The Venus Williams.
I don't know if we have sound. Oh, there we go.
And they are the world's strongest dwarves. And they'll be competing in strength competitions, all to find out who is stronger.
And that super tall one is
You're going down.
Go.
Easy.
That chick squatted.
585 pounds on the bar.
Yeah, the bar's going down 9 inches max.
Am I clear? Yep. Good job, Zoe. Good job, Zoe.
Bottle jack.
One more.
Man, 90 degrees in the thigh. That was unreal.
Go! Come on!
I was like American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Come on, Zoe. Come on.
This is a dwarf deadlift.
Next one. You got this. Big one.
Now the supermodel hot
Lorenzo's
chick.
already at 4 plates right now. I think Brittany's stuck at 3.
Easy, good. Pull. No. Nope. Hey, let's go. Move over.
All right, listen. I got a boner, so we gotta wrap this up.
So does he.
Yeah. All right. Like the wrestling is pretty good, but I gotta say, in bench press, squat, like the big wingspan is not good for that. Once in a while, there's some freak of nature who is 6'8" and also has that like crazy strength and can do the squats and the deadlift and stuff. That's crazy when you run into those people.
Yeah.
The squatty guys are always the power lifters because they're just
compact.
They're compact. It's basically it's just a leverage. It's just like a leverage thing. Bottle jack is interesting because it's like 6-8 inches off the ground and could lift an M1 tank. And by the way, when you pump it, it doesn't feel hard. It's not like it gets harder when the tank comes off the ground. I use it. I will jack up a sagging building. Like you can have a 2-story building that's like sagging, and you get down there with that bottle jack. Boom. Right on up.
Yeah.
All right. Plugs for Sam Tripoli. Soul Joel's great, right?
Yeah.
Coming up. SamTripoli.com is where you go. Tinfoil hat.
Yep.
Is the
Check
pod.
out Word War Debate. It's coming out in March. We'd love to have you debate sometime.
Where is that going?
We think we're going to put it in Florida next.
Oh, makes sense, right? Rudy, live dates?
Yeah, I'll be with you in Florida. I got a bunch of dates, rudypovichcomedy.com, and I just found out I'm going to be headlining the Toledo Funny Bone on Sunday, February 1st. So
congratulations,
thank you,
dude.
my friend. Thank you. Yes, please come out. I'd love to have you.
Yeah, domestic abusers, you've been warned.
Right.
Rudy's coming to town.
The vigilante.
Go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. New York tomorrow night at Stand Up live there at Rodney's. That's what I want to say. So, until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Sam Tripoli and Rudy Povich saying mahalo.
It's last call for San Francisco's government hooch. A COVID-era program that guzzled $5 million of taxpayer money annually to serve booze to the homeless alcoholics will finally shutter this year.
Could I be... Let me tell you what I want to do. Can I tell you what I want to do? I want a job to be the arbiter and gatekeeper of bad ideas. Okay?
I thought you were going to say shot girl for the homeless.
I'm going to take my bit that some people saw in my vlog, which is it's not going to work, and just take it worldwide. I'm just going to walk into the San Francisco City Council meetings and I go, all right, we got a plan. It's called judgment-free injection sites. We give out, now hear me out, we give out syringes to the junk, and I'll just go, not going to work. Not going to work. What's next? And I'll go into UPS and I'll go, we have a campaign called What Can Brown Do For You? Okay? Not going to work? Not going to work. What's the next idea? What else we got? We're giving out Jägermeister shots to alcoholics who pee in the park. Okay? Not going to work. Not going to work. What's next? We'd like to defund the police. Okay, nope. Not going to work. Not going to work. We don't want a border wall because walls don't keep out. They don't keep people out. They keep people. Okay, not going to work. We're going to have a border wall. Give me the next.
Are you jumping out in these? Are you breaking through walls? It's not going to work.
I show up in every planned meeting.
Oh, out of the frame.
I would do that. I would have showed up in the middle of that press conference in front of Nithya Raman and just stepped in front of Ed. Ed, how you doing? Looking good. I think someone stole your 10-speed, by the way. Anyway, this monorail, not going to work. Not going to work. What's next?
You're like the Dikami Mutombo of this.
Mutombo. Yeah, no. What's his first name?
Dikami. Yeah.
His name's Dikami.
Dikembe Mutombo, but it's now Dikembe Mutombo forever.
Dikembe. Yeah, Dikami. All right, so not going to work, everybody. It's not going to work.
Yeah, look, there's a new mayor in San Francisco, and he's trying to clean that all up. He's getting rid of that program. He's getting rid of a lot of the other programs, and he vows if you do drugs on our streets, you will be arrested, and instead of sending you back out into crisis, we will give you a chance to stabilize and enter recovery. So he's offering a hand up for these poor guys, but yeah, they paid $55. I mean, 55 men, over. It's ridiculous. Ace, listen, 55 clients amounting to $454,000 bar tab per. So they spent I wonder who got a charger on that one.
Listen.
You know what I mean? I'm in the wrong business, Ace.
Listen, here's the deal. Everybody, with the government, please understand. There is a super cuts and a sports cuts and a sports clips and American clips and a super clip and a sport clip and a now clip and a then clip. And they're all within 7 miles of each other. And so I can get a haircut for $22. No problemo at any of these places all the time. If you get rid of all of them and you just have one government-run haircutting place, it's going to be $500 per haircut. And you're going to go, what? That doesn't make sense. It's like when they go, we're going to build homes, miniature homes for the homeless. The miniature homes for the homeless are 250 square feet, and they're $785,000 a unit, and you can buy a ranch house outside of Nashville for that because we left it up to the government, everybody. And yeah, you can go to the airport and get a Budweiser, and for $3 more, you can get a shot of Jack Daniels. But if the government's in charge, then each drink is $141. And that's how it works because it has to, because we're humans, and it's going to work that way, and there's nothing we're going to do about it.
You can't see any way to fix it. I can think of AI, techno robot, making sure that everybody does everything right, and tattletale on everything. I can see a future like that because there's no way to hide it if it's completely transparent.
What'll fix it is not having the program in the first place. That'll work for about 90% of it.
But look, sweeping the guys off the street only works temporarily because they come back in. You have to eliminate that behavior.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And get those guys into something that works. So they cannot just live like this.
They have to be moved against their will.
Yeah, I mean, there has to be, exactly. But they have to be pushed into that safety of, here, get cleaned up, and then you can start your life over again.
Yes, but they have to do that. They can't live on the street. Criminalize vagrancies. Right? All right, what else do we got?
All right, next up, wealthy elites are shelling out as much as $500,000 to rent California mega mansions ahead of the Super Bowl 60 next month.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big money. Homes that normally rent for tens of thousands a month are going for $10,000 to $15,000 a night during Super Bowl week.
Remember during COVID, people were throwing house parties and rented houses, and then the government was getting all weird, saying we're going to cut the electricity off.
I started a martial arts business in my plaza, and it was very successful until the cops shut it down.
Really?
Yes.
In your plaza?
Yes, in my plaza. I had a bunch of students come, hit pads.
You have a plaza?
Well, this is back, I lived in an apartment complex, luxury apartments, and I was out there barefoot kickboxing. I said, what is the problem with everybody? Why is everyone acting so strange? I didn't really watch the news back then.
and they shut it down.
The cops shut it off. Yeah, I had my big bodybuilder buddy getting some good pad work. I remember he was kicking hard. I was very impressed, and it was a great show. I'm telling you. And then cops showed up, hand on the butt of his weapon, and talking about, "Hey, you need to stop." And then suddenly my Google reviews went down.
I had a friend who was. It's funny. It drove everyone underground. I had a friend who was a hairstylist, and she just started seeing all her clients in the garage. So her salon got shut down.
Yeah,
but
it was
she
like
just
a speakeasy. Like you had to touch your nose to supercuts.
Yeah. There's a great clip, Andrew, which is great because you can't hate the ladies from The View enough. But there was one woman, and I love when they turn on their own. The ladies from The View were their brain had rotted so much from COVID, and they bought into all of it, and they were whatever the Democrats.
You gotta admit, we all a bit rotted from COVID. Come on, it think about what it did to the culture. It just completely put a rot in the entirety of America's brain.
I completely agree. Yeah. And there was a story of a woman, I think in Texas, who has a business, who owned a salon. And she said, I'm keeping my business open, and we're doing the safe distancing and the masking and everything. And all the women from The View attacked her, which is great because, lady, this is a female small business owner who you're supposed to support, but you guys suck up to the government so much and do all the bidding and believe all the propaganda from the government that you're now fighting against a female small business owner.
Well, quick question: person of color?
No, that would have helped. That would have helped. And the thing that was great, I'll say this about COVID: all the people who told you it was deadly are now all the people complaining about ice. None of them died. How is it possible that Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon and all the assholes that were lying, Sanjay Gupta, all those people, how is it possible that not one of them died of COVID, telling you every night how dangerous COVID was? And these are now the same people that are explaining that jackbooted thugs with ICE badges are going to kick open doors, grab Americans, and disappear them in Honduras, and it could happen to any of us, right? They'll go, could happen to any one of us. It'll never happen to you. How come? Shouldn't there be one of you? One of you should have died of COVID, and one of you should have been grabbed by jackbooted thugs and taken to Honduras and disappeared. One of you. Statistically, there's 200,000 you assholes saying this every single night. One of you should have been claimed by COVID. One of you should be taken by Trump's thugs and disappeared statistically. And you always say, could happen to me. Could be me. Could be you. Could be me. But it's never you. And it never happens. So pardon me if I'm a little bit dubious.
Yeah, and if Anderson Cooper overstays his visa, he's fucking out of here.
I'll tell you when I'm going to believe something that Anderson Cooper says. When he dies of COVID and then they take his corpse and they disappear it to Honduras with the government thugs. Then I'll go, you know what? Maybe he wasn't lying the entire time. But it'll never happen. And it never did happen. Can you think of a person who told you were going to die of COVID who died of COVID?
We'll see when he's buried in Managua.
Mm-hmm. All right, what's the next story? And that clip is somewhere, although maybe the View ladies aren't excited about the.
Well, here's another clip for you. Good old Bill Maher is saying to the Dems, tell celebrities just to shut the fuck up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Oh, wait, we have our View.
Oh, we have the View clip. Never mind.
Sorry about that. Then we'll do Bill Maher. I'm going to do his show, Club Random, in a couple days, by the way. All right, here we go.
Welcome. Megan. Thank you, Whoopi. Good morning.
Hello, Shelley. Thank you so much for coming on. Texas had been under stay-at-home orders since March 22nd, but on April 24th, you defied those orders and reopened your salon for business. We heard a snippet of your story in that clip that we just played, but can you please explain to everyone watching why you decided to reopen your salon?
Well, there were several reasons. I mean, obviously, we were all in a panic when this broke out and the virus was spreading, and Of course, we were willing to shut down too.
She got
2 weeks, even 3 weeks. But when the government help was not coming, and no one was really even replying to any SBA loans that we were applying for, unemployment in Texas, you couldn't get through. The website was crashing. My hairstylists were telling me, look, I'm about to go to people's houses to do hair because I just don't have any money. I decided to open because it's not safe for them, obviously, to be going to people's houses for them or their clients. And I just felt like if I opened, I could create a sterile environment and make it at least a lot safer and follow CDC guidelines and regulations. And I really just didn't want to be the reason why they weren't making money.
Right, and they say you could have avoided jail time if you had apologized to the judge.
This old fat whoopee.
There's anybody that you should apologize to outside of the judge, like, the folks that are working so hard on the front line, folks like that? Do they, is it something you would have done for them as opposed to just saying?
First off, all right, let's put Whoopi Goldberg being a world-class dingbat aside for a second. How about being on a show where you talk for an hour every day, but you can't form a thought or a sentence? Wouldn't you say part of her job would be not to go, what about others people's who you may have owed as a pathology to, who may have not the ones that Ozempic going to kick in, but also the front workers who are of the community. Who is Meredith Vieira still on the show? Jesus Christ, bitch! Let's listen to Whoopi. Whoopi's, by the way, Whoopi's got an earpiece. It's like, you're first up, Whoopi. You have the first question. Go ahead, Whoopi. Ask her question. Yeah, remember the heroes, the nurses, and the doctors who bang the pots and pans every day at 5 o'clock? Remember that? Okay, so here she wants to know, what about putting them in danger? Here we go.
Should apologize to outside of the judge, like, the folks that are working so hard on the front line, folks like that. Do they, is it something you would have done for them as opposed to just saying to part of the government that wouldn't open up?
I have no idea what her question was.
What? I don't know what she said at all. Opioid Whoopi is the best Whoopi.
Run her question in its total. I want to see it. I have no idea what she's
follow
asking.
CDC guidelines and regulations, and I really just didn't want to be the reason why they weren't making money.
Right, and they say you could have avoided jail time if you had apologized to the judge. Do you think there's anybody that you should apologize to outside of the judge, like, the folks that are working so hard on the front line, folks like that? Do they, is it something you would have done for them as opposed to just saying to part of the government that wouldn't open up?
That's a good question.
That's not a good question. I don't know. I didn't even know that it's a question. What is, all right, is there any more? She must be getting she'll get browbeat by the rest of you chicks.
There's 4 minutes left.
I know, but I mean, let's just go to the next view question. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Because they got a questions. Oh, okay. Now we got what's her name? We got Sunny.
Shelley, we do know that so many Americans are facing financial hardship because of this pandemic.
Yeah, because the government shut it down.
But you applied for small business loans and unemployment, and you did receive some aid from the government. You received $18,000 from the government. So I understand why people feel so strongly about going back to work, because they feel that the government isn't doing its job and taking care of people. But in this instance, 2 days before you went to court, the money went into your account. So I'm troubled by that.
Yeah, right. I can see why you would be troubled.
All right. She makes $18,000 a break, Sunny Hostin does. But either way, by the way, everyone changed their look on this show a lot in a short period of time. The ladies from The View were angry at a woman who employs other women and has a small business that she's trying to run. And that was now. What they should do is they should apologize to her for being wrong about everything and taking the government side, but they're never going to do that. All right, Mayhem, let's do one more story. We don't have that clip.
We don't have Bill Maher then.
We don't have the clip.
Well,
we have
just
the
know
quote.
that Bill Maher is like out there. Yeah, he's getting it with.
What's the quote?
The quote is like, they need to go to the center. That was his, he's just saying.
Well, he has a quote somewhere, right?
Yeah. The celebrities, man, he said, you don't strike people in most of the country as sensible or in touch with reality. That's the main, crux of it, is that celebrities are kind of seeming out of touch.
There are. They can be baited into getting on board with any. Look, here's the thing about celebrities. Celebrities need to be employed, and it's not like working for Chevron. You need a new job every 6 months, and you need a new job. Let's just put it to you. Let's put it to you this way. Let's just say it's not celebrity. Let's just say you work as, let's just say any trade. Roofer, plumber, electrician. All right. So you just work. You know what? Let's put it to you this way. Let's do your job.
All right.
And my former job, your trainer.
Yeah.
Works at martial arts trainer. Okay. So now, here are the rules. Every 4 to 6 months, you're done. You need a new job, right? And anybody can do your job. Your experience and your whatever, it's fine. But you can be replaced by anybody at any time, and almost anyone can do your job. And there's tons of mixed martial arts trainers that are waiting in line trying to get that job.
It's kind of true. It is true. I have fighters, and you have to focus on them. You get a new job every 4 months,
Right, but you're good at what you do, and you have history. In acting, there are a million people looking for every role. And almost anyone can do it. There's a handful of guys and girls at the top who aren't interchangeable, but everybody below them is. So now, with that in mind, Mayhem, we are auditioning fighters, trainers all the time. Now, some subject like COVID comes up, or some subject like Israel comes up, or some subject like Donald Trump comes up, or ICE comes up. And remember, you better figure out where these people are on these subjects. Because if you're in love, you some Donald Trump, and I hate Donald Trump, and I see 1,000 guys, and you're auditioning, you ain't getting the job. And guess who figures that out real fast? All the people that are auditioning. So that's why they all end up in the same place. Here's how we feel about Trump. Here's how we feel about COVID. Think about the wild coincidence that was, quote, COVID. Every single one of you guys landed in the exact same place in Hollywood. Get the vaccine, ivermectin is horse paste, listen to the government, shut everything down, and don't listen to Joe Rogan or anyone who's been deplatformed. How is it that you all landed in the exact same place? In a world of opinions, Super Bowl's coming up, you're going to have celebrities that are pulling for New England, you're going to have celebrities that are pulling for Seattle. But in a world where they all land in the exact same place with COVID, everyone.
Look, I'll just say I got my jab this morning. I feel good. Yeah, I'm like COVID Zeta. Yeah.
No, you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
You got a COVID?
Yeah, COVID Zeta. Yeah, it's the last one that they're doing. Yeah, so I got it at CVS. Come on.
You did that.
For free.
How is it that not one celebrity raised their hand and went, I don't think these masks work. I think it's a good idea. This seems stupid. Like, how come one of them didn't question a mask, a paper towel over your mouth? How come one of them? You want to know why? They need a job. They need a job.
I like wearing the mask, bro. I walked into every convenience store like I was going to rob the joint, man.
All right. They need a job, so they have to suck up, and they have to say the same thing about everything. How Remember the Me Too thing and Believe All Women? Those are the guys who invented the casting couch that immediately put the lapel patch on and got right down with everything immediately. Immediately, and they invented banging vulnerable women. That guys in the coal mining industry didn't invent that practice. That was Hollywood that invented that. They pioneered the casting couch. Couches used to just be called couches and sofas, but there was no such thing as a casting couch until Hollywood came along and invented the casting couch. You understand? And those are the people that were most on board with this movement. That is so full of shit. The most lecherous sacks of duplicitous shit on the planet. They want a job, and they can't get the job. I was a good carpenter. I could say whatever I wanted because you always need a good carpenter, and there weren't that many of them. You're good boxing and striking and MMA practitioner and trainer, you will be employed. That's how it works. But if there's a million carpenters and they're all good and they're all interchangeable, then I better figure out what the guy's politics are who is doing the hiring so I can get on that crew. And that's how Hollywood lands on the same page with everything all the time. Because you go, well, ICE, Trump, border, Israel, Palestine, COVID, ivermectin, that seems like a very diverse group of subjects. No, we're lockstep on every single one of them. It's mathematically impossible. It's impossible. And anybody who works in an honest trade, you'll have guys that are like, that guy's not into COVID. That guy's a double masker. That guy's getting the vaccine. That guy swears he's not going to let anyone. You get diversity as you would. This bullshit of everyone landing on the same page is how you know it's bullshit, because it's mathematically impossible. All right.
They're all on the same Reddit thread.
That's right.
Hey, last story. Kanye West apologizes for reckless anti-Semitism in a full Wall Street Journal ad. I am not a Nazi, he says.
Wow.
Hey, this was a heartfelt letter, maybe touched up by his lawyer, but he apologizes for being not a Nazi. He apologizes for being anti-Semitic. He, really extends olive branch to the entire world because he had a bipolar breakdown and says 4 months of his life were just spent in a mania, just acting crazy, producing Nazi t-shirts, making money off that and kind of harboring anger towards everybody. Yeah, here's the entire statement, but it is so tight. It's in 120.
Listen, I have a lot of Jewish friends. I love the Jewish community. Laszlo Gorog was a Jew, and I don't like anything he said in terms of Kanye about Jews, but all is forgiven by how he dresses his girlfriend. Okay? And as a Jew, Chuck, that while the things he said are hurtful to your community and there's a real history of oppression and death, when you see that Sensori chick walking out in a thong back and a see-through top, you as a Jew must admit all is forgiven.
I forgive him 100%
right.
for that.
Yes, I thought even you of the tribe would admit that.
Yeah, but do you forgive him for what he said on Twitter?
All right.
Hey, Adam, about you wondering who your mom would vote for LA mayor if she was still alive. We all know your mom most likely will be voting in your upcoming elections. Dying is not a problem where voting is concerned. Love your show.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Well, that's true. My mom's probably voted in several elections since she's been gone in California. That is true. Alicia Krause is here. She's got the news.
I sure do. Ready to get into it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, RIP Spirit Airlines. Have you ever flown Spirit?
Yeah, I did one time when we, had sort of no other choice. Although I don't people sort of complain about stuff like they go, you fly Spirit, but they charge you $50 for a bag. Yeah, they have to make money. They can't just charge $30 for a flight. They have to do other things to make them money. And they
Charge you for water.
I was on Spirit and the seat didn't recline. Like, yes, I know. It's that people do this all the time. They go, I go to the Home Depot. No one knows nothing. I got to walk up and down the aisle. There's nobody there. I got to go. Yes, right. And a sheet of plywood is $27. If you want to go to the Anawalt Lumber on the corner, you'll find a guy with a beard who's in his 40s who knows everything about plywood, and he'll pay $41 a sheet there.
Yay, capitalism.
Yay, that's how it works. You decided to go to the cheapest place to get the cheapest thing.
Yep.
And that's what you got, which is a great option to have. Although there are people that formerly only rode the bus and they weren't meant to fly. Like, there are people that aren't meant to fly. They're meant to be transported via a bus, not an airplane, because an airplane...
Because they don't have the etiquette to fly?
Airplane involves a lot of order. You know what I mean? Like, hey, when you're in the back of the plane and we land, you don't get to walk to the front, past everyone in the front of the plane.
I see that happen on all airlines, though, not just the discount ones.
Thank you for shitting on my point. There are always going to be those people out there, but it's not an airline for those people.
Put it in the nomination bucket, Andrew. Put it in there.
Yes. There are always those people, but I'm saying what happens when it's mostly those people? Now we have fistfights.
I think that it's not the discount airlines, though. I think it's a broader cultural problem. That people are so selfish and into what they want when they want it right now, like same day delivery, liking the TikTok, just sticking to like what they see and what they like and what they want.
So like if you go Singapore Air on one of those transcontinental flights.
It's a different culture. It's a different culture that views things like very differently. Like there's respect of elders in like Asian culture.
So, you're saying it's a black thing?
No, I'm saying it's an American culture thing.
Okay, so on an American flight, like if you flew American or United, they'd have as much of it as they would on a cheap airline.
Yes, I see it all the time. Because
So
when I
it's
do
the same.
speeches in the middle of the country, American and United are the only airlines that go there. And you see people of all backgrounds doing the same thing, putting their jackets and their backpacks in the overhead
To
bin.
the same extent as Spirit.
Rushing through.
So
yes.
like you would see as many fights at the counter at the airport,
The
let's
only
say,
fights at the
as
counter-
Spirit as there would be like American.
I don't know that I've seen that many airline fights. When I've seen people yell at an attendant, it was always in Vegas.
Right,
And it
but
didn't
you're
matter
saying
what the airline was.
the Spirit airline does not attract a certain breed that should be on a bus. You're saying it's equal through all the airlines.
Yes.
And it's all the same.
I think it's horrible.
And it would
all
be
around.
Well, not the question isn't is it horrible? The question is it unequally dispersed?
Yes.
So
Anecdotally, from what I've seen, yes.
If you went and looked up videos of people fighting on airplanes, it would be equally dispersed amongst Spirit Airline and American or United or Lufthansa.
I think it would. I think what you're looking for is what routes are the most rowdy, and I think
Do
you
you
could
think
easily
poor
pick those.
people fight more than rich people?
Huh?
Do you think poor people in
Have
general
fisticuffs?
fight more than rich people?
Oh yeah.
So if there was a plane that was dedicated to poor people versus a plane that was dedicated to rich people, you think there'd be less fighting on the rich
So you're
person
saying
plane?
Spirit versus Jet Suite X?
Yes.
Yeah, there's going to be more fighting on Spirit.
Wait, a minute ago you were just saying it was the same
No,
across
I said
the
for
board.
all commercial airlines, United, American, Spirit, JetBlue. I think that the inability of people to just have normal.
But not Jet Suite X.
No.
Why not?
Well, if you got a whole bunch of drunk influencers on Jet Suite X, yes.
Okay, so it makes however much the price factors into the fighting or not?
I'm torn. I still
We
think.
just said poor people fight more than rich people.
Yeah.
And so then poor people have less money to spend on an airline
But I think that
ticket.
your assumption is that all of Spirit Airlines' audience was significantly poor people is not. necessarily true. There's a lot of like middle class families that were flying Spirit Airline because it's expensive to fly a family of 4 to Disneyland.
No, I didn't say all. I never said all. I just said more people.
More poor people are on Spirit than on other airlines.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yes. You disagree with that?
I don't know because I haven't seen the data. I think that the average American who flies goes, where is the cheapest ticket and when do I need to go and get there?
So you have like Mastro Steakhouse and then you have Sizzler Steakhouse. Do you think more poor people eat at Sizzler or Mastro's?
Sizzler.
Okay, because why?
Because it's more affordable for them. And so if they're going to go for a night out, they're going to go to Denny's or Olive Garden with all you can eat buffet or a Sizzler.
Right, but then why doesn't that apply to the airline?
Because oftentimes Spirit, on average, actually wasn't that. Once again, my anecdotal experience of flying around the country, just like you do a lot, wasn't that much cheaper.
Use only that,
but it wasn't that much cheaper in comparison to other airlines once you add in all of the things.
All right, so Spirit isn't cheaper than other airlines.
It was advertising itself to be, but on average, no, it was not.
All right, so is it like middle ground expensive? Where is it? Where would it be? At the bottom, in the middle, at the top?
Yeah, I often saw like it in the middle, and then Southwest and Avello were often less expensive.
All right.
Yep.
All right, so it's not to do with money. Okay. All right.
Well, they don't have any money anymore. They filed for bankruptcy again.
Listen, I don't fly Spirit. It was just seemed to be that's how they were presented as the cheapest.
They did advertise themselves as that, or the more affordable one. So people are pointing fingers here. People on the right are saying it's Elizabeth Warren's fault, and people on the left are saying, no, it's the war in Iran and increased gas prices, which is also the excuse that Spirit management has used as well. Apparently, under the Biden administration, of course, the DOJ was trying to say, hey, we don't want a monopoly formed because JetBlue had previously offered to buy them, which Elizabeth Warren at the time bragged about. She said, quote, I've warned for months that a JetBlue and Spirit Airlines merger would have led to fewer flights and higher fares. And she said that the U.S. Department of Transportation and the Justice Department were right to stand up for consumers and fight against the runaway airline consolidation. This is a Biden win for flyers.
That's weird. They're so worried about somebody having the market cornered on something, but they're the government. They're the ultimate market cornerer. They're the ultimate non-competitive. You know, they're all like, with airlines, we can't have one big airline. They're going to gouge everybody. Isn't that kind of what you do? Is the government? There's just one big you.
Like with student loans?
I can't go anywhere else and get anything. I have to deal with you.
Yeah.
I would put the same to Liz Warren. Like, I would argue the reason everything is so fucking bloated and shitty and slow and expensive is because you have a monopoly on this. I can't go get a building permit from a local company that does building permits. I have to go to you, which means I have to wait in line, and it's fat and bureaucratic.
I also don't like the idea of the government. So then I guess Spirit went to the government and was like, oh, can you give us a bailout? And then the government would have been the majority shareholder in an airline, which I guess is what Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren want. But
right.
I don't see that being great either.
But also, if there's, you know, for the sake of argument, major airlines, let's just say 7 major airlines, and now there's 6. Is that a monopoly? Like,
no.
Why not let them merge with, and by the way, then we'll decide whether we want to use their airline or not.
I actually got really excited when Hawaiian and Alaska merged.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, well, great. Get those points. They're combined now. Cheaper fares, more flight options. I think that JetBlue and Spirit would have been great. I think that it creates a more competitive market when everybody's trying to one-up everybody else and the services that they can provide and the routes that they can provide, et cetera.
I agree. You have that Mark Rubio video, which is awesome.
The best.
He loves it. I don't know why it's funny showing black people fight, which I don't get at all, because I don't know why anyone would make a video where black people are fighting in the Spirit Airline situation, because it doesn't make sense. The thing about comedy is it has to it has to capture a zeitgeist. Like, you have to know what you're talking about. Like, you can't go, every time I'm on the freeway, I always got some slow German guy in a Porsche in front of me. People go, what? That doesn't make sense. Right. So this is a video where somebody decided to make everyone fighting black for some reason, but it doesn't make sense to me.
Looks like you're going to have to take over Spirit too, Marco.
Why are all people black, and why are they fighting? AI is the greatest thing ever. I don't care if they turn the nukes on us.
I just love how Marco Rubio has all the jobs.
He's pouring Hennessy. And why is everyone black? I don't get it. It's confusing to me. That's the greatest. People feed. All right, we got it. It's
I
the
don't
best.
like the Marco Rubio hitting women, but the rest is the best.
I don't know why they're black. All right, anyway.
Marco Rubio has every job in the administration, though.
I know.
Did you see the memes about Marco Rubio
It's the greatest.
having every job? Like, there was a Marco Rubio being a member of the force. Like,
it's all
hilarious.
the best.
There's also Marco Rubio that was DJing at a wedding over the weekend.
That was real, right?
This is real. This is not AI. According to Dan Scavino and other people that were at the wedding taking this footage, he was at a family wedding and he went behind the DJ booth.
Nothing this man can't do.
On tempo.
I hate this.
Oh, you hate this?
Yes. I hate DJs. I hate all DJs.
You hate weddings and dancing and fun?
No, just
and
hate
happiness?
DJs. I hate all DJs. Now, here's the other thing.
And a great American story.
The other thing I was thinking about, I like Rubio a lot. This DJ thing is a strike.
Oh, no.
I'm going to admit that. But Donald Trump being excited for the World Cup, big fat strike. Donald, if there's anyone on this planet that hates soccer, it's Donald Trump. I hate soccer. Donald Trump owned like an expansion football, USFL football team or whatever it is. He loves the UFC, which is the exact opposite of soccer. Anyone who loves football and loves the UFC fucking hates soccer. I know he has to put on a happy face and act like he's excited about these foreigners doing nothing, tie 2-2 at the end of 4 hours. I know Donald Trump hates soccer.
But he went to is it FIFA? I don't even know.
He's doing what you have to do.
He went there and they presented him the trophy and he was like, this is amazing.
He's doing what you have. You cannot say, I hate soccer. You will be a pariah to everyone on the planet.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people on the conservative side of the aisle that talk about how horrible soccer is and how American football is a better sport and it requires more like ingenuity and overall strength and fortitude.
You're disagreeing with what I'm saying? I'm saying you can say whatever you want, but you can't be the president and say you hate soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you can. But
it's Trump. Trump can say whatever he wants.
Ben Shapiro can say he hates soccer. Nobody's going to care.
Trump said.
Megyn Kelly can hate soccer. No one's going to care. Trump, you cannot welcome the world to come to you to play the World Cup and say you hate soccer. He can't. He's a business guy. He's not going to do that.
I think, though, that he does kind of say things off the cuff that he actually believes. And if he deep down believes that like he doesn't like soccer, it might come out at some point. I think a part of him doesn't care.
Thank you. But he is not going to say it while bragging about getting the World Cup.
World Cup here.
That's
Are you going to be one of the people that leaves LA when the World Cup comes?
I'd like to leave the planet when the World Cup comes because I fucking hate soccer and it sucks. And soccer's part of the problem with LA. LA's Mexico now. That's why they love soccer. Nobody gave a shit about soccer. When I was a kid, soccer's like, that's a homo sport. I'm not going to get in silk shorts and run around like a pansy. Fuck that. Nobody cared about soccer when I was a kid because we had real sports. We play football. Now they don't let kids play football because they're pussies. And so they don't want to get them injured. So they're By the way, what makes you think your kids was going to do something important anyway, where they needed their brain? But all the football players are all the best guys. They have all these little soccer pussies, and that's why guys are now chicks now. So I don't like it. I don't like it culturally. And I know Trump doesn't drink, but if I ever sat down with him in a quiet spot and we had a couple of drinks, at some point he would tell me how much he hates fucking soccer. That's my belief.
All righty.
Yes.
Speaking of California things, the big things happening. Unfortunately, the big things that are happening here are increasing cost of gas. Keeps going up, up, up. And the California Post says it's doomsday for California as the last barrel of oil from the Middle East has arrived down at the port of LA in Long Beach. And we're about to face the most brutal test of the gas crisis yet as the final ship carrying oil from the Middle East arrived here in the Golden State. Look at that. It's named after you. It's a Hong Kong flagged crude oil tanker called New Carolla.
Wow.
And it's anchored off the California coast. This came from the LA Times via Getty Images. And it was the last tanker to pass through the Strait of Hormuz since the Iran war kicked off.
New Carolla.
And it has 2 million barrels of gasoline, diesel, and jet fuel. But people are saying that they estimate, I don't know, I've seen some crazy chatter online and in Slack groups and stuff that people think that we could get to $10 a gallon here in the state.
Okay, a couple things. They misspelled my name. Spelled C-O-R, number one, but they do in many periodicals and articles and things of that nature. Carolla, I believe, is a part of a flower or something.
Really?
It's an Asian thing.
Well, it is from Hong Kong. So that would
yeah, so that new flower or something is what they named it, probably. So, you know, it's funny when people have to pretend to care about how much gas is. First off, gas in Europe has always been super expensive compared to what we pay here. But obviously California, you know, when you hear, it's so funny when you watch these news shows, they're like, it's up to $4.21 nationally. And I'm like, $4.21 is cheap here pre-everything. You know what I mean? So that's California. Also, it's also funny when people make a lot of money, pretend to really care, because it is 100% a relative thing. If you, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just say gas is $10 a gallon. First off, most of the people I know that are doing well are driving a Tesla anyway, so it's a little bit academic. They're not driving big Dodge dualies, you know, but all right.
It's the working class that's going to be pinged.
You go $10 a gallon.
Yep.
Fine. Okay. If you're like a working class person, you know, on a job site, whatever, you might be making $30 an hour. So it's basically a third of an hour of your work. If you're Mark Garagos and you're a lawyer and you're charging $1,000 a billable hour, then you're going way down in the percentage standpoint. So you got 33% of an hour's work. And then if you're Mark Garagos, you don't even have, you know, well, 1,000. It's essentially, it takes 20 minutes to get 1 gallon if you're getting $30, if you're making 30 an hour and gas is $10 a gallon. For Mark Garagos, it takes him 41 seconds. So it's not a burden for him. It's not a burden for him at $50 a gallon. It's a burden for people that A, don't drive an electric car, and then B, drive, many of these people we're talking about drive a truck. And it's a full-size truck, and if they're gardeners or whatever, you see these gardeners, Beverly Hills, Encino, Malibu, they don't live anywhere near that area. It's not like, well, all the gardeners in Beverly Hills live over in Homely Hills across the way. And no, they're not at Bel Air, Beverly Hills adjacent. They're in Sun Valley.
Or Lancaster. Or Pomona. Or like, so the data is 10 years old now. I'd want to research and look some more data up. But I think the LA Times years ago had data that showed the average commuter in Los Angeles, no matter what their income level was, their commute is 31 miles.
Really?
The average commuter. So you're spending, and then when you spend that in traffic, you know, city miles versus highway miles. So I think that also when you have a third of the 40 million households, or the 40 million people in the state, on average, a third of them make under $100,000 a year. gas prices do affect their daily life.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts to affect the grocery store cost and what your nanny wants to charge you.
It kicks the shit out of poor people, and the same people that never stop talking about caring about the poor people and the brown people and whatever are paralyzing them with this shit. And it's a California thing. I mean, yes, you can blame Trump, but that's 15 minutes old.
Yeah.
This has been going on for 20 years.
Other than Hawaii, we have the most expensive fuel in the country and always have, whether there's war in Iran or not.
Because of regulation.
Yep.
All right. Do we have one more?
We do. We have Kevin Kiley, of course, congressman that Gavin Newsom, tried to get out of a district up there in Northern California, confirming that the $100 million that's missing from the Pacific Palisades fire relief fund was funneled to NGOs.
Oh, he was just on. Yeah, here we go.
Speaker, I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to open an investigation into the Fire Aid concert that took place in the aftermath of the devastating Los Angeles fires. What has happened, what we have learned, is absolutely beyond belief. In the aftermath of these fires, which destroyed 18,000 homes and killed, tragically, 30 people, there was a Fire Aid concert in which a number of high-profile musicians generously agreed to perform, and people responded in an amazing way. Tens of thousands of people donated, raising $100 million for what they were told was direct relief for the victims. But now we've learned that this money didn't go to the victims at all. Instead, it went to nonprofits, some of which have nothing to do with fire relief, where they promote things like voting and civic engagement and multi-generational power building. Some of them aren't even located in LA. So I've asked the Attorney General to open an investigation in order to restore the intent of the donors, in order to make the victims whole and to bring accountability. I yield back.
All right. So someone like Liz Warren is really worried about two companies merging, companies that pay taxes, pay their employees, keep jobs, maintain jobs, and give billions back to the economy, but they're never worried about this.
Nope.
This part of money they don't care about.
Because it feeds their system.
Right, but
they're giving to nonprofits that are registering Democratic voters, and then they're giving to nonprofits that help unions. They're giving to nonprofits that spew woke DEI language. So it's her people that are benefiting from the fraud.
But stop telling me you care about fraud, waste, abuse, and money, and the rich, and all this kind of stuff, when your constituency just does it on a criminal level. And no, they're not the size of JetBlue or Spirit, but what JetBlue and Spirit are legitimate companies, not grifters.
Yep.
Jesus. And it's I'm now realizing there's no such thing as... You cannot create any form of a cracked open door that these people can get through when it comes to money. If you just go, look, we will give some of the money to some NGOs, but those NGOs need to qualify, and we need to understand, and all need to vet. They're off and running. It's done.
They're off to the
races. There's no more. Sorry, every penny goes to a victim. If you live there and you can show me your lot with scorched earth, we will give you some money. If you can't, there's nothing. There's no anything.
And what's fascinating is I have friends in the Palisades and in Altadena that lost homes, and God bless the private sector after the fires that was like, hey, come to this store and we'll give you clothes. Come to this store and we'll give your kids school supplies, right? But even those private sector places were like, can we see your ID? That shows, on the fire map, whether or not you actually were misplaced or lost your home. Why doesn't the government display? Sorry. Why doesn't the government do the exact same thing? Why is there no follow-up? It'd be like...
Because those guys aren't NGOs or grifters who want money, and in a blue state where they found more free money that they can give their friends to help them with unions and re-elections and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a grift. It's a super simple thing. I just go, look, first off, I live in Malibu, but everything around me burnt down. And I did have a certain amount of money and discomfort and whatever involved with it, but I don't need any of the money from the concert. That would be, I would say, A, whose home was burnt to the ground, not who's made it. and has to deal with traffic or soot, but who burned to the ground? All right, that's one group. Next one, who's underinsured who burned to the ground? Because if you're fully insured, I'll throw you out. Fourth, who lives on PCH and makes over $25 million a year anyway, and this is your fourth house, I'm going to throw you out.
Yeah.
And then I'd be left with a handful of houses in Altadena. Like in my world, I might even toss out everyone in Malibu and half the people in the Palisades just because their income level and so on and so forth. And then I would go find generational home owners in the Altadena area that worked as substitute school teachers and janitors or whatever. And I'd go, now I have $100 million and there are 141 families, and that's how we're going to whack it up. Done.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I don't know if you've got, I'll give a little more to the ones who have kids under 18 than I would the gay couple, perhaps. I might even
Sounds like you
get
should
a
have
little
come
more
up with the budget
granular,
plan for this.
and then that's how we're going to distribute the money.
Yep.
Instead, it all goes to NGOs, and their whole thing is funding the future with these bullshit names they do all the time, and they're just signing up more Democrats to vote against people who would have ideas like I just shared with you.
It's like they pay each other. It just is a circle.
Right.
Well, we'll have this event and then we pay this person to do this thing and it's really obscure and we're going to write a grant to make it look like they're helping the children.
Right.
But they're not doing shit for the children.
Well, I mean, it's crazy that like Paul Pelosi got 2 PPE loans that total like $1.7 billion. You know, it's kind of gross, but
Wasn't that one of the things with like AOC's husband's winery too? Like they took out loans to like small business loans or crisis management loans?
The whole point is does a guy whose net worth is $300 million, who's in his 80s, does he really need the 1.7? You know, it's totally insane. They're going to do it. And by the way, there's a part of me that doesn't like what they do, but I get it. It's kind of the new world order. Stop preaching about not caring about money. Stop, you're like when you're Barack Obama and at a certain point, enough's enough. You got enough money. You're on your 7th house. Now shut up. Just shut up and say you're money grubber like everyone else.
I mean,
stop preaching all the time and taking all the time.
Paul and Nancy Pelosi could do that plan that you just laid out for everybody down to Dina.
You must be allergic to my logic. But yes, went down the wrong pipe. I get it. Yes, I agree that they're not. They're never going to. I mean, they're just going to do insider trading and get richer.
Are we going to cut that out, or is that going to become a GIF?
That's a GIF. I love the Pelosi part. I love, that clip of Pelosi. Remember when 60 Minutes used to do news, and there was like a clip of one of the 60 Minutes reporters in the audience going, how about insider trading? And her answer is great. She's so power drunk. You can always tell people who are really used to being rich and super powerful.
Because they get away with it?
They just do whatever. No, it's not because they get away with it. It's the answers they give. Like when people...
Because they're so used to getting away with it that they are unused to being asked tough questions.
It's literally like being the big man on campus, every coach, every teacher's going to give you an A, even if you never attend class or something. And then someone goes, hey, Bart, quarterback, how come, what about studying? And you just go, I don't like studying. And then you laugh and you leave, you know what I mean? Because you're going to get A's on everything. Nancy Pelosi, when people confront her, she just goes, I don't know. And no, that never happened. And that's that. like, all right, I guess we have to shut up now. Like someone is it's her being asked 60 Minutes from 20 years ago in the audience, and she just kind of goes, that's that. Like, enough of that. I'm going to talk about insider trading. This insider trading from 2006 or something.
Congresswoman Pelosi also declined our request for an interview, but agreed to call on us if we attended her news conference.
Madam Leader, I wanted to ask you why you and your husband, back in March of 2008, accepted and participated in a very large IPO deal from Visa. At a time there was major legislation affecting the credit card companies making its way through the House. And did you consider that to be a conflict of interest?
I don't know what your point is of your question. Is there some point that you want to make with that?
Insider trading.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think it's all right for a speaker to accept a very preferential and favorable stock deal?
Well, we didn't.
And you participated in the IPO.
Well, I have many
And at the time you were
investments, but I
Speaker
don't
of the
think-
House. You don't think it was a conflict of interest or had the appearance of a conflict of interest?
It only has appearance if you decide that you're going to have elaborate on a false premise. But it's not true, and that's that.
I don't understand what part's not true.
Yes, sir. That I would act upon an investment. Yes, sir.
Congresswoman Pelosi pointed out that the tough credit card...
You get just going, that's that. That's that. This thing I didn't happen, and that'll be that. And no interviews.
It's like when a kid gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar, and they're
Yes.
like, "No, I didn't do that. What are you talking about?"
This is kind of even worse.
It is, because she isn't, as they pointed out, she was Speaker of the House at the time.
Right. Well, that's that. All right. This Friday, Saturday, May 8th and 9th, Las Vegas. Me at Kimmel's Comedy Club, doing 4 shows there. Covina Laugh Factory on the 14th, but that is a special major
Gonna be fun.
guest that I can't say for reasons that I can't say. Visalia, after that, Fox Theater. And then on the 16th, Modesto State Theater. And then going to be hanging out at the Fillmore with Governor DeSantis and Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro.
That event looks amazing.
I think it's going to be good. You can go to adamcarolla.com for all the live shows. What do you got, Alicia Krause?
Oh, just check me out on the socials and your TV, here and there.
And Renan's Hirschberg, he's got Memory Room, the movie, and the stand-up, Morbidly Jewish. So, till next time, it's Adam Carolla saying mahalo.